Do you know where they came from? Did they come from China? No. Did they come from Russia?
Yes.
No. Did they come from Holland?
No.
Did they come from England?
Yes.
Yes. So the first people that came were called pilgrims. And they got on a ship and they came across the ocean, and it was very difficult. And they tried to build houses, and they had some other visitors there. Who were already there in America? Who was already there? Do you know?
Americans.
What kind of Americans?
Indians.
Indians, yes. The Indians were there, but they were very afraid of the Indians, weren't they? They were very afraid. So many people died, and it was very difficult, but they decided they would come and they would stay there. And why did they come from England? Why? Do you know, Zilly?
Because they want that in America lived somebody else.
No, in America there was nobody there except for some Indians. There was nobody there. So why would they come all the way from England across the ocean? Why would they come? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know? You know why? Because in England they were told they cannot worship God. They could not worship God the way they wanted to. So they said, we want to worship God. So they wanted freedom. Do you know what freedom is? What is freedom?
Freedom.
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 Does anyone know what freedom is?
When you are in home and your mom said you cannot go outside, and then after our mom said, you can go outside. Yes, I'm free.
Yay, you're free. Very good example. Very good. Okay, freedom is that you can choose what you want to do, right? You're not told, you may not do this, you may not do that, you may not do this. You can choose. And they were like, we want freedom. Okay? All right. Now, Thanksgiving is known for food. We have in America the fourth Thursday of November is Thanksgiving. And every family, they get together, and it's a real family time, and everybody has a turkey, a big turkey. Do you know what a turkey is?
Yes.
Okay, they eat turkey, and one of the most famous things that they have is pumpkin pie. This is a pumpkin pie. Do you know what pumpkin is?
Yes.
So you get to taste some pumpkin pie today, all right? I made some for you. And so the pilgrims, they're called pilgrims, the people that came from England over to America, the pilgrims came and they wanted to have new land, new freedom, and they wanted it to be that they could worship God in a new way. All right, that's what Thanksgiving's about. So I have a special thing that I'm wondering, you have to listen hard so that see how much you understand. And I will stop it and see how much you understand. This guy here, it's a famous cartoon. His name is Charlie Brown. And this was here. This cartoon was here when I was a little girl, so it's been around a long time. And this boy, this dog here, see him? His name is Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Yes, and he has he and this bird are called, they're friends, and his name is Woodstock. And so this is a famous cartoon, but in this cartoon, they're going to show you the story of Thanksgiving. And afterwards, we are going to have some pie and do a craft and some coloring, okay? So, look, this is England, this is Ireland, and this is the Mayflower, okay? The Mayflower, and it's going to sail across what ocean? What ocean will it sail across? Do you know?
No.
Is it the Pacific? Is it the Indian Ocean?
Indian Ocean.
Is it the Black Sea?
Black Sea.
Is it the Atlantic Ocean? Yes, it's the Atlantic Ocean. They sail across the ocean to America. Okay, can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try it, and I will stop it every once in a while. And try to listen and understand, but if you don't understand everything, it's okay. It's okay, because you're learning, so don't get frustrated, okay? Here we go.
128 years since Columbus discovered America, the place, the harbor of Plymouth, England. A tiny ship called the Mayflower is being boarded by 102 people. There are 70 men and women, 32 children, a handful of cocks and hens and pets, and a dog. Some of the voyagers are people who today we call pilgrims. They are leaving their homeland to seek more religious freedom in the New World. Some of the passengers, known as strangers, are merely seeking wealth in the new land. Some are indentured servants, and the rest are the crew who will sail the Mayflower.
The Mayflower is the ship.
English merchants who will finance the journey. The pilgrims and the merchants will share any profits from the new settlement. This, however, is the most dangerous undertaking. The voyagers realize that their very lives are at risk. They must cross the treacherous North Atlantic in a very small ship. The journey will take many weeks on the open sea. Men, women, and children will be traveling in unbelievably crowded conditions, sharing what little space there is with the precious cargo. The voyagers will hardly have any room in which to sleep and eat, let alone move about. Many will be leaving loved ones behind. And even if they survive this dangerous crossing, they will arrive at a virtual wilderness. However, their belief in God, their desire for freedom from religious persecution, and their dreams of creating a new world for future generations all make their life-threatening journey a risk worth taking. Their adventures will change the course of American history. For the first weeks, there are favorable winds. The Mayflower makes steady progress.
Okay, can anyone tell me what have you seen so far? What do you understand? Get it? Glenn, can you explain?
One hundred people go on the ship and then go to America.
Okay, they're on their way to America, and is it going to be easy or hard?
Hard.
Hard. And is it dangerous or is it safe? Dangerous, right. Okay, good job. Good listening.
Across the sea. Unfortunately, even in good weather, the conditions aboard ship are miserable. There are no sanitary provisions and very little privacy. Some have to sleep on straw on the floors. Some on board get violently seasick. The children, ranging in age from a few months old to 15, were restless. After the first few weeks of favorable winds, the North Atlantic Ocean finally turns its full fury on the tiny Mayflower. train the Mayflower to the breaking point. The passengers are forced to stay inside in the foul-smelling cabins. I'm not feeling well, Linus. I'm not either, Charlie Brown. How much farther do we have to go? I'm not sure. I think someone said we're about halfway. Oh, no.
Come on, Charlie Brown, shake up. You can't let this little wind bother you.
The storms become so violent, the crew is forced to haul the ship, to go to short sail or practically no sail at all. This keeps the sails from ripping apart. But now, the Mayflower is like a cork, bobbing up and down helpless on the great ocean. Linus?
Well, I think it's up to Captain Jones. He's the captain. Let him tell us.
Captain, we can't risk all these lives. We must turn back.
We can fix that beam. We will go on. We've come too far to turn back now.
After many hours of debate, a great jack screw forces the sprung main beam back in place. There it is secured to the timbers. A post is placed under the main beam to brace it. The Mayflower's Captain Jones.
Okay, what happened? What happened?
People scared
What happened? Yeah. They were scared because what happened to the boat? What happened to the boat? Flip?
both on left and right and left and right,
Yes.
and all people were scared.
Daddy?
It was dangerous because one people was in the water.
Yeah, he fell overboard. And on the boat, one of the beams broke in half, and they said, "We have to turn around and go back to England." And the people said, "No, we can't. We can't go back to England." "Yes, we have to go back to England." "No, we can't." They were arguing. Remember the word arguing?
Yes.
Yes. They were debating.
And the girl said that we can't go back because we did a hard way.
Yes, we're already halfway there. We should not turn back, right? But one of the beams of the ship broke, and then they repaired it. So they did some repair, and then now the ship is okay to sail. Okay, so now they're sailing
Has
some more.
faith in his ship, and the pilgrims have faith in their God, and they all decide to further risk their lives to reach the new world. The date is November 9th, 1620. It is daybreak.
Do you miss England? I really miss my grandmother and grandfather.
Boy, I really miss my friends. I wonder if there'll be any children in the new world.
My mother and father seem worried. This must be a really dangerous trip.
How long have we been on this ship, Linus?
This is our 65th day, Charlie.
5 days.
9 weeks.
I'm gonna have a long talk with whoever planned this trip.
Do you think we're going to make it, Linus? I hardly have any strength left.
Charlie Brown, we have to keep faith. A bath and some new clothes wouldn't hurt either.
A lot of the others are starting to give up. They don't think we'll ever get there.
We have to get there. Why is that, Lucy? Because I have to lodge all my complaints about this terrible trip.
Speed 2 miles per hour. 2 days later, on November 11th, at 6:30 in the morning, they make their first landing at what today we call Provincetown Harbor. Because they have no charter or rules for the wilderness that stands before them, the Pilgrims write an historic agreement, which will eventually be called the Mayflower Compact. It establishes the plans for making the laws in the future. After an unsuccessful attempt to navigate further south, the Mayflower returns to Provincetown Harbor. The first group of men prepares to leave the ship and explore their new home. All the Don't Worry passengers hope and pray that the worst is behind them. Of the original 102 passengers, 101 arrived, 2 having died in the crossing and 1 baby having been born. How many of these people will survive a winter in the wilderness is still in grave doubt. For the first few days, the weary travelers have some relief. Clothes can be washed on shore for the first time in 2 months. Juniper trees supply kindling to fuel fires aboard ship. The smoke from the fires rids the Mayflower of its terrible smell. Fish and fowl provide desperately needed food. Even great whales leaping all around the ship seem to welcome the newcomers. But during the next 4 weeks, the Pilgrims have one disappointment after another. A small group of men explores the nearby wilderness, but is unable to find a suitable place for settlement. Wild animals scream out in the night. Many of the passengers, most of whom are still cooped up on the Mayflower, start to become ill. The few explorers on land desperately look for any sign of life, any sign of friendly Indians who might help them survive. Then, suddenly, one day,
Look, over there. 5, 6 Indians and a dog. Put down your muskets. Let's see if they'll talk.
Let's walk slowly toward them. Smile. Show them we don't want to harm them. Oh no, they're running away.
They must be afraid. Quickly, we must chase after them.
the explorers try to find the Indians, going at least 10 miles inland, but the Indians have vanished. By the end of the 4th week, the explorers are near exhaustion. They plan to return to the Mayflower the next day. A few days later, the Mayflower set sail for a more hospitable harbor, discovered earlier by the small band of explorers. Several passengers had died during the stay at Provincetown, which the Mayflower leaves on November 15, They lay anchor in Plymouth on November 16th. On land, they discover a miracle. Much land has been cleared, probably by some Indians, though again, there are no Indians in sight. There is much land suitable for planting crops, and much land on which...
So, yes?
65 days.
Yes, 65 days on the boat. That's a long time, isn't it? Yes. And then what happened? They saw what? They saw land, right? And was that land good land or not good land?
Good land.
It was good land. Could they stay there or could they not stay there? They couldn't stay. No, it had too many trees. They could not find good land. They said, oh my, we don't know what to do. So they said, everybody come back into the boat and we will go to another place. And they landed in Plymouth. And when they landed in Plymouth, what did they see?
Indian.
They saw, well, not yet. They haven't seen Indians. They will see Indians. But here, it was cleared land. It means if there are so many trees, it's very difficult to build a house, right? This was cleared land. It was cleared, and they said, yay, we can build here. Yay, we can live here. So now this is where they are. They're building. Did some people die already?
No.
Yes, some people died of sickness, yes? Okay, let's see.
To start building their settlement.
So they're building.
A week after arrival, they start building their common house. But at this moment of high hopes, tragedy starts to stalk the pilgrims. The 3 months of forced confinement aboard the Mayflower starts to take its toll. The harsh winter, freezing snowstorms beat down on the pilgrims. At least half of the adults lay sick or dying. Only 6 or 7 adults are ever well enough at one time to carry on the daily work. The Mayflower becomes a hospital ship. When the common house is finally finished, it too becomes a hospital. Miraculously, the 3 children survive, and many of them must take on the chores of their elders.
All right, everybody, listen up. These will be your chores for today. Charlie Brown and Linus, you get the wintergreen and the chipperberries. Peppermint Patty and Marcy, you get the kindling. Snoopy and Woodstock, you get the drinking water.
Many of the adults were so sick. They were ill, and so they couldn't work. So the children had to work, and because there was only, they said, 6 adults that were well at one time. All right. So the children had to work, and so now the children are working, and the dog.
Sally and I will try to patch up some of these clothes. Everyone be back here within 2 hours.
And who put you in charge, Lucille?
Captain Miles Standish. That's who. People with pretty faces are always put in charge.
Linus, do you think we're all going to die?
We have to have faith, Charlie Brown. We just have to do the best we can each day.
I'm really scared. It seems we're losing 1 or 2 people every day now.
They're starting to build the first houses. Captain Standish says if we can just make it until spring, we have a chance.
Do you think we have enough berries? I'm freezing.
I think we should collect some more, Charlie Brown. On the other hand, maybe we do have enough.
I'm afraid of the wolves, sir. Forget the wolves, Marcy.
I'm afraid of the Indians, sir.
Forget the Indians, Marcy.
Besides, we haven't seen any since we landed in this harbor.
I'm afraid of the storms, sir. Forget the storms, Marcy.
What makes you so brave, sir?
People with big noses are naturally brave.
up, sir. There really wasn't a snake.
Mercy!
But thank you, sir.
For what?
I'm not afraid anymore.
Why is that?
The way we ran away from that snake, I think we can outrun anything alive.
Marcy, you're weird.
We sure are lucky to have Captain Standish as our military leader, even if he isn't one of us pilgrims. That's for sure. He helps with the building, he nurses the sick, he's even going to train us to defend ourselves. Defend ourselves from what? The Indians! We know they're out there somewhere, and they can attack us any day. I hope they don't attack today. Why today? I haven't finished the wash yet.
By the end of February, 2.5 months after landing in Plymouth, no Indians have been seen. But the combination of a terrible winter and lack of nutritious food and necessary medical supplies has been devastating. Half of the original 102 passengers have died. Only 20 adults and 30 children have survived. As the winter continues through the first days of March,
2 months after they landed, how many people were left? Zeli?
102.
102 people came to America, okay? And then after 2 months, how many now are left? How many now? Did you catch? 30 adults and, 20 adults and 30 children. So half, 50 people, but 30 of them are children and 20 adults. That's a lot of people who already died because the winter was very difficult and because they didn't have very good food and because of the sickness. They were sick. They didn't have medicine.
nothing less than a miracle is needed to save the few survivors. The strong faith of the surviving pilgrims is just about all they have left. Even Captain Miles Standish has been heard saying that time may be running out on the survivors. In early March, the survivors must make a decision. Shall they return to England on the Mayflower, or shall they try to survive in the wilderness? And then, a miracle. Look, Linus, he's not carrying any weapons.
Welcome, Englishmen. My name's Samoset. My people welcome you to our land. He speaks English. Welcome, Englishmen. Welcome. And who might you be? My name's Samoset. My people welcome you to our land. But how in the world do you know our language? English fishermen, many miles north of this place. English fishermen teach me speak, and fur traders too. Can you please tell us why this land has been cleared? And who cleared it? We have seen no one. This land is land of Patuxent tribe. They cleared land here. Where are they? All dead. Terrible plague. All died here 4 years ago.
Everyone died?
Yes, young man, except for one man. His name's Squanto. He speaks better English. I bring him to you in 2 sunrises.
While the pilgrims can hardly believe their eyes and ears, Samoset tells them about their surrounding wilderness. 2 days later, Samoset